Hey everyone, recently I have received some supposed leaks for Call of Duty 2023, as well as Call of Duty 2024. As you know, I quit leaking a couple or so years ago. I am completely done with it. I do not speak to any of my sources anymore, but recently I received a bunch of supposed leaks for the upcoming 2 Call of Duty games. And I want to preface this by saying that this is coming from a completely anonymous source. There is absolutely no validity or credibility to this, and also the leaks are from a few months ago, so are already out of date, as you will find out in a second when I start to read through them. We know that these leaks are at least a few months old because they were initially transcribed just after the time when we found out that there's no longer going to be 6 seasons for Modern Warfare 2, and it's been reduced to 5, and there's going to be a lot less content, and the fact that we now know that Call of Duty 2023, which was previously going to be a gap year, and was instead going to feature an expansion for Modern Warfare 2 with brand new campaign DLC, multiplayer maps, etc., but it's instead been turned into a fully fledged game, being headed by Sledgehammer Games, with, I guess, Infinity Ward assisting as well. Yes, that's around about the time of when this leak initially came about. But the thing is, back when I used to have sources for Call of Duty, this is actually how they would typically approach me. They would just give me a load of information that seemed sketchy to me, but then it started getting confirmed, and then I began to realize, wait, this is actually credible. Of course, there is a very big chance that the information of which I'm about to describe is completely made up by a random person just trying to troll. Apparently, they've been trying to get in contact with many different people to get this information out to the public, and like I said, there's absolutely no credibility or way to validify this person's identity. However, little tidbits of it have started to come true, so I think it's going to be interesting to discuss. This video's purpose is merely for discussion, just to talk about it, and it's always interesting to ponder on the what ifs, even if they do turn out to be incorrect. I'm not dipping my toe in leaking again. I was simply sent this and thought it would make for an interesting discussion video. Anyways, their post starts off by saying, I am a QA tester at Activision. Let's just say I have had it with the company and plan on leaving after 10 plus years of working there. But before I leave, I am going to give you all some information on the future of Call of Duty 2.0. So first of all, we have leaks for upcoming Modern Warfare 2 content. The game is getting less content than originally planned. I'll explain later. Like I said, this leak was originally posted before we knew that Modern Warfare 2 would be getting less content than planned, which is why this may give some credibility to this leak. This leak was also before episode 2 of Raids came out, so they say, one of the raids I played that is planned for season 3 is in Las Almas, and you play as Price, Gaz, Alejandro, and Rudy. The season 2 raid will include Alex as a character, but just in the communications. The playable characters are Ghost, Soap, Price, and Gaz. Well, of course, we've gotten season 2's raid, and that wasn't the case, but it is partially true. But like I said, this leak is very outdated, so it could be that he just played a very early build of this mission and the raid got changed, because Alex did actually show up in this mission. However, we rescued him from the Atomgrad bunker. He didn't just show up on the comms, he was physically there, unless he might have mixed this up with episode 1's raid, which we did just see an image of him on the comms at the start of the cutscene. So maybe he's mixing that up, and of course we don't play as Ghost, Soap, Price, and Gaz. We play as Price, Gaz, and Farah. So these could be very outdated leaks. He says there's going to be references to Hadir and Makarov that are made throughout the raids. Of course, we already have Hadir referenced at the end of episode 2's raid, as he wants to team up to kill the Russians. And I'm sure Makarov will be mentioned in the later raids as well, since by episode 5 it'll probably tie back to the no Russian post-credit scene. He said the last Almas Battle Royale map is finished. It would have been added in season 4 or 5, but I will explain this later. So we already have a map of this new Warzone map that's going to be coming because it's in the campaign for the game. Apparently it was originally planned to release during Modern Warfare 2's life cycle, but it's been held back. Now, most excitingly for the Call of Duty 2023 leaks, he says, so yeah, this Project Jupiter rumor is true. They took DLC for Modern Warfare 2 and turned it into its own game. Anyone saying it's being developed by Sledgehammer Games is lying. The content is already there from Infinity Ward, it's just being held back. So yeah, it does seem like that is the case. It seems like a lot of the post-launch content for Modern Warfare 2 has now been held back and is being sold as an entirely separate game, which is so shady. Sledgehammer Games, I think, are going to be leading it, but they're probably not going to be as in charge as you would expect, considering Infinity Ward have apparently worked on a lot of this content already. Sledgehammer Games will just be overseeing it. Of course, Sledgehammer Games just finished with Vanguard last year, so they're scraping together this game in a very short amount of time. It's going to feature a lot more recycled content than we're used to, with it apparently having maps, weapons, and more transfer transferring over from Modern Warfare 2. It's essentially Modern Warfare 2.5. It's just going to be another rendition of the same game, but Sledgehammer Games' attempt on it. So it has the possibility for it being a much better game than Modern Warfare 2 with it having recycled content, but Sledgehammer Games typically have better gameplay designs and mechanics than Infinity Ward, to be honest. I really just don't like the way Infinity Ward designed their games, and I think Sledgehammer Games will be more open to community feedback, in my opinion, than Infinity Ward. He says, Season 6 of Modern Warfare 2 is not happening. Season 3, 4, and 5 are being cut short of content, so from the timetables that were leaked a week ago, it is way less content. So yes, that's right, a while ago, 6 seasons were leaked for Modern Warfare 2, but of course we now know that this is completely false and completely out of date. Now, the timetables that were leaked were legitimate at one point in time, but they're very out of date now. They're from 3 or 4 months ago, and now Modern Warfare 2 is unfortunately only going to be getting 5 seasons of content. The content's going to be spread out more across those 5 seasons. A lot of content has been held back for COD 2023 as well, so each individual season's getting less content. He said, I played mainly multiplayer for it. They had us playing on the classic maps from COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2, such as Chinatown, Grid, Quarry, Terminal, and some more. So apparently these are going to be maps that we're going to see in Call of Duty 2023, which is really disappointing because we already have Quarry and Terminal in Al Mazrah, so I would have hoped to see them in Modern Warfare 2, and they might still come. Like I said, this leak is subject to change and it could be completely made up anyways. There's so many remakes in Las Almas, the upcoming Warzone map, as well as Al Mazrah. It seems like all of those remakes are just going to be spread out across Modern Warfare 2 and COD 2023. With that being said, there is the possibility if maps do carry over from Modern Warfare 2 to COD 2023 that Terminal and Quarry, for example, could be in both games. It has seemed weird how there's so many remakes in Al Mazrah and yet not that many have released to Modern Warfare 2 so far. You would think they could get 2 remakes per season at least with a brand new map too, and that could be because some of those remakes from Al Mazrah are being held back for COD 2023. He says even maps from Treyarch games were tested, such as Summit and Aftermath, and this is similar to a leak we heard previously that COD 2023 is going to feature some content from other games, from Treyarch games and Sledgehammer Games games. He says the new maps are average, 3-lane maps, most are medium size. One of the maps takes place in the building from the last mission in the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I would love to see that as a multiplayer map in Chicago. Before Project Jupiter got the green light, it was planned for Verdansk to be brought back for a small event. However, it seems like that will no longer happen, but it was a combination of the original Verdansk and Verdansk 84, at least from what I saw. Similarly, the second Battle Royale map, Las Almas, is finished. It should have been added for Modern Warfare 2's life cycle, but that is probably not going to happen. If anything, it'll just release when Warzone 2 and COD 2023 integrate, which, yeah, like I was saying earlier, that seems like what's going to happen. I hope that it doesn't release too soon after COD 2023's release, because I think they pushed out Warzone 2 too quickly after Modern Warfare 2 launched. It was rushed and wasn't given time to breathe, so I'm hoping Las Almas releases in spring of 2024 instead of a month or a couple weeks even after COD 2023 releases. He says there's apparently going to be a night vision goggles mode for multiplayer in COD 2023, and Warzone 2, I'm guessing he means the Las Almas is already done. He says there's going to be a night vision DMZ mode, which is fun. Campaign-wise, COD 2023 is going to be the usual Modern Warfare type stuff. The raids that were planned for Season 6 and Year 2 of Modern Warfare 2 are being used as levels. Makarov is in the game. He is going to be hinted in the future raids of Modern Warfare 2, but will not be seen on screen until the next game. I think even if this leak was true at one point in time, that's probably going to change, considering we did see Alex in the raid. I think we'll probably see Makarov by the final raid, and that'll tie into COD 2023 storyline, which I think is going to be all centered around the Russian ultranationalist and the stuff with the no Russian post-credit scene, as I was saying. Hadir is in the game. He is Al-Assad. Him and Makarov will be working together. I think this was very obvious anyways. I've been talking about that in prior videos. Yuri will also be in the game. He is playable for some of the missions. Excited to see him back. The campaign was basically done. One of the missions I played was extremely similar to the Davis family vacation mission from Modern Warfare 3. Classic mission. My favorite mission was a mission where you are driving down a highway in Berlin, chasing and shooting enemies, similar to Violence and Timing, except you won't be jumping out of the car. There are missions in the UK, Germany, Al Mazrah, Uzbekistan, and the United States. So the campaign missions will be mainly focused on the Spec Ops. There's not going to be any relation to the cartel, so no Valeria, although she's going to be an upcoming operator for Modern Warfare 2. Shepard is in the game. I think this was inevitable that we would see him back. He is considered missing in action, but it won't be like Modern Warfare 2, where he is working with Makarov the whole time. There are going to be references to the Four Horsemen throughout the story, although I guess both Zakhaevs have already died, so are they going to have 2 people to take their place? Apparently Spec Ops is going to be back again, unfortunately. I was hoping they would try something else, but maybe there could be something else as well, since they'll probably have DMZ again, and maybe some other mode. He says he played an updated version of Survival. It was supposed to be added in Modern Warfare 2 in around December. You pick a random multiplayer map and had to survive multiple waves of enemies. They played it on the highway map and it was pretty fun. You start with a pistol and have to purchase care packages that give random guns, then go to the gunsmith stations to purchase attachments. There was change in time mid-game, so it started in little the evening, then it became night, and the map got darker, which is pretty cool. We know that there's apparently going to be dynamic weather and potentially a night/day cycle coming to Al Mazrah in DMZ. I don't know why we haven't seen that yet. So apparently it seems like survival mode was supposed to come to Modern Warfare 2, but it was cancelled. We know we can play the mini watered down version of survival in Spec Ops as it currently is, but apparently they had plans for full-on survival, but it never came to fruition. That could be something we see in COD 2023. You have to be lucky and get the night goggle stuff from a care package. We told them it was annoying and it should be buyable. He says he doesn't know if this mode will ever release. It was fun though. There's no additional perks, field upgrades, mechanics added. In a second, I'm going to go on with a bunch of information for Call of Duty 2024, which is really exciting. It goes over the campaign, zombies, multiplayer, and even Warzone. But before I get into that, I first have a really awesome message to share with you. This video has been kindly sponsored by Quiz.com. Play thousands of free quizzes, challenge your friends on any device, use phones or tablets as controllers, and compete in multiple question types. It's stream friendly too for content creators. You don't even need to download any software. Simply head to the site via the link in the description and begin to play. What's more is that they have just launched a new ChatGPT-like feature that allows you to make your own quiz completely with AI, including images. This is perfect as it speeds up the production process when designing quizzes. You don't have to spend a lot of time searching up answers if you don't know them. The AI will scour the web and concoct them for you. Quiz.com is the perfect tool for events and classrooms. Create your own by yourself or using AI, a mixture, or even choose amongst the thousands of ready-made quizzes. In comparison to Kahoot, which I'm sure you've heard of and likely used before, since it's very popular at schools and even in workplaces, Quiz.com trumps because, contrastingly, all question types are free. Why use Kahoot when Quiz.com is more fun and free with more customizability? What I'm going to do now is participate in a quiz for myself on the site using AI so you can see what it's all about. Okay, so I'm on Quiz.com now and let's show you how this AI system works. So here, you can type what you want your quiz to be about. So I'm going to type Call of Duty Zombies. You can then select the language, I just have it set to auto, and then simply click Generate AI Quiz. It will begin generating the quiz, and you can have up to 150 participants, and on screen you can see the PIN number that you can give to anyone you want to participate, and there's also a QR code as well that you can share to other people. It takes a bit of time for the algorithm to work, but it's not too long. It should be done within a few minutes or so. Okay, so now the quiz is complete, and you can simply join. You can choose whatever name you want. I'm just going to put TGR, and you can select a picture as well. Then you can start the quiz.
What is the first map in Call of Duty Zombies?
Obviously it's Toronto and everyone knows that, and it's great because it comes comprised with pictures, but they are AI generated, so they might be a little bit off. It would probably be better if they just pulled the images off of Google, but it's using ChatGPT software. It only has information, of course, up to 2021.
Which perk increases reload speed in Call of Duty Zombies?
Obviously that would be Speed Cola.
What is the name of the main antagonist in the Zombies storyline?
I guess that's really subjective, but out of these four, it's definitely Richtofen.
Dr. Edward Richtofen.
So yeah, you get a gist of how this works. You can use these quizzes, of course, to challenge other people on their knowledge, or you can even make content out of this. I could, for example, make a whole video doing Call of Duty Zombies quizzes, and I don't have to come up with the questions for myself. It'll just auto-generate them, which is awesome. So what are you waiting for? Start having fun and check it out via the link in the description. Now for Call of Duty 2024, the campaign will be the usual streamlined linear stories. The usual characters are in it, and it is apparently going to be taking place in the Gulf War. So we've had prior leaks that Treyarch's next game, which is in 2024, is going to be a Black Ops Cold War sequel taking place in around the 90s / the early 2000s. Apparently the majority of it is going to be based around the Gulf War. One of the missions that is finished has Mason and Wood sneaking into an Afghan military camp and securing intel. There are references to Perseus and Bell planned to be included. Of course, Perseus will play a role in this game. We know they were active all the way up until 2023, with the recent raid even having a Perseus icon in it, since they seem to be the ones that were responsible for that Soviet-era ballistic missile within the Atomgrad bunker. So I'm excited to see what Perseus were up to in the 90s, and I wonder how that could tie back into the Modern Warfare 2 and COD 2023 story. Adler is apparently going to be playable, so I guess he survived after all. That's going to be the version of the ending that they go with, presumably the one that they carried on with the post-launch story when Adler killed Stitch. That'll probably be the canon ending that they go on with COD 2024. Multiplayer is planned to be a normal COD, just expect the usual 6v6 COD with various gimmick modes and remasters. Some gameplay mechanics from Modern Warfare 2 such as sliding, dolphin diving, tactical sprint, etc. are still being considered, so obviously I can't say anything for certain. Obviously a lot of this stuff is very subject to change. I remember when I was receiving leaks way back in the day from Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 and even Black Ops Cold War, there were so many mechanics in those games that never made their way into the final releases. The last build he played was some nightly build from a week ago and there was no dolphin diving, only sliding. Tactical sprint was in the game but only lasted a couple of seconds and has an extremely long cooldown, but like I said, this is all very outdated information, so even if this was the case a few months ago, it could be completely different now. Mounting was in the game, the time to kill was similar to Black Ops 4, slide cancelling was possible, the score streak system from Cold War was in the build, which I hope they don't bring back. It was quite controversial and I don't think they are going to bring it back. They might have had it in testing, I don't think it'll make it into fruition though, since a lot of people didn't like that and they'll probably revert back to a regular system. He says the non-classic minimap is in it, where red dots don't show up on the minimap when firing before having a UAV. That's in Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 that a lot of people hate. So I'm hoping this is just for testing and doesn't make its way to the final build of the game. I don't think Treyarch would do that though. When the developers are making games, they test various different things. Just because things are in testing doesn't mean that it's going to be in the final build, since they're just trying to gauge feedback from the QA testers, figure out bugs, and also get statistics on how things work with various different mechanics before they come to a final decision on the mechanics. For the sake of comparison, the previous build I played had a longer tactical sprint, shorter time to kill, and sliding got nerfed. Development is ever changing, yada yada yada. Now for some zombies information at last. So apparently Outbreak and Onslaught from Black Ops Cold War are both going to be returning. I'm so happy about this. We already know Outbreak is going to be back from a Treyarch job listing, but I really want to see Onslaught back too, especially Onslaught Containment. He says Outbreak is planned to allow more than 4 players a game. It will take place on a single map, and this is what I want to see. I don't want us to teleport from location to location like we did on the Ural Mountains in Black Ops Cold War. I just want to go on a large map and explore it and choose which objectives and side objectives to do on the map, which gives you more freedom. So Treyarch are apparently developing a new Warzone map for COD 2024, and I'm guessing they'll probably use this same map for Outbreak, maybe give it a bit of a reskin to make it more zombies-esque, and hopefully we get to play on this full experience. Onslaught is apparently going to be very different this time. He says it will be similar to Vanguard's maps during Fang and Terra Maledicta, where you are just on multiplayer maps doing tasks at random areas of the map, but I guess that sounds more like Outbreak even, such as Outbreak Armada. Maybe that'll be how Onslaught is this time, but I hope they have classic Onslaught too. I wouldn't mind seeing the multiplayer maps reused as objective-based maps. In terms of the story, it's obviously a continuation of the Dark Ether story, where we were left off with Eddie Richtofen revealed as the director of Requiem, and the Requiem heads were apprehended, and the strike team was sent to a containment chamber on Black Site 13, which we don't know where it is, but it could potentially be the point in the Pacific where Dr. Peck was pointing on the map, and he is going to be heading there to retrieve them. So Peck will be on our side this time, probably. He says the first map that will be released takes place in a prison. So yeah, I'm guessing the first map is probably going to be Black Site 13, which, like I said, is this containment chamber where the strike team was sent. They might even have some Dark Ether or Psychotronic powers now because of high exposure to Ethereum, so they might be able to use the field upgrades just using their mind as opposed to having the wands. The map isn't related to Mob of the Dead at all. It's a completely new fresh map. The wonder weapons are apparently going to be similar to the staff from Origins. There's apparently no ray gun, which I find hard to believe. Maybe it's just not in the build he's been playing, but I'm sure the ray gun will be back. They want to bring back more harder, tedious Easter eggs. So we already know this because Kevin Drew and some of the other Treyarch developers have been saying that they want to bring back hard Easter eggs, but they still want to have the easier and more straightforward quest as well. So maybe they'll have a main quest that is straightforward and everyone can access the storyline, and then they'll have harder side Easter eggs, or maybe even a second quest that is for more hardcore players as well. They apparently want to make a reimagining of Shadows of Evil. I could see them doing that, especially with the Ethereum warheads being sent into the Pacific Ocean. That could create an Atlantis-like map, and we could see it as a remake of Shadows of Evil, which was kind of like an Atlantis map. Apparently Zombies Chronicles 2 is in production. It was apparently finished in Black Ops 4, got ported to Cold War, and they kept holding it back for some reason. He says he played it back in Black Ops 4. At the time it was just Transit and Buried, faithful remasters. When they started testing for Cold War, he got moved to Modern Warfare 2, so never got to play it. So yeah, there's been rumors of Zombies Chronicles 2 for a very long time. I don't know if we will ever see it, whether we see it in COD 2024. It would make perfect sense for COD 2024 though, if they do have a 2-year post-launch cycle, but considering the 2-year post-launch cycle for Modern Warfare 2 has been cancelled, it might no longer be happening, so we may never see Zombies Chronicles 2, but I really want to see it. They could even bring back a load of Black Ops 3 maps and other maps, considering it has been like 6 years now since Black Ops 3, so they could add a lot more maps than just the Invictus maps. But yeah, take all of this with a huge grain of salt. I have no idea if Zombies Chronicles 2 will ever see the light of day. In terms of the Warzone 2 integration, they want to make a map similar to Blackout's map. This will also be used as the map for Outbreak, which I was saying earlier. It's supposed to be really gigantic. So yeah, I really like Treyarch's style of maps with Blackout and of course the Ural Mountains, which was supposed to be used for a Battle Royale experience but got cancelled and was just used in Fireteam and Outbreak. Instead, they want to end up doing in-game weather events similar to Battlefield 2024, but he doubts that'll ever happen. We know that it's apparently going to be coming for DMZ in the future. They announced it ages ago, but it hasn't released yet, so maybe they're having some development issues with it. I would like to see dynamic weather in DMZ and Outbreak in the future. If anything, there'll be some basic rain, but nothing like a tornado. Similarly, they want to include more destruction, but they tested that in Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2, and they still didn't include them on release, so he has his doubts. And yeah, I heard the same thing when I had leaks for Modern Warfare 2019. They were testing destruction. It never made it into the build of the game. It was apparently really glitchy, not good at all, and broke the game. They were testing it in Warzone as well. They were testing it for Modern Warfare 2 as well, apparently, and it never made its way. We had basic destruction in Vanguard 2, but people didn't really like it. As you can tell, there is clearly more to discuss for COD 2024, only because there are more ideas being thrown around. Whether or not they are used in game, he doesn't know. And of course, since COD 2023 isn't really a proper new COD game, it's the Modern Warfare 2 expansion that's been turned into a full game. It's going to have a lot more recycle content than usual, even though CODs have a lot of recycle content in general. So it makes sense as to why COD 2024 is the one to be more excited for, since we're essentially just going to be seeing another Modern Warfare 2 this year. Anyways, that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Thank you for watching the video, and make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Call of Duty news information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.